There we go. All right. Thank you guys for coming to our first ever Rock Solid Flawless Empire joint team call. Courtney and I have been success partners for a long time now, and we do a lot of things, you know, together yet separate. And we figured, why are we duplicating when we could just, I mean, we're doing a retreat together, we do other things together. We figured, why not pour into our coaches at the same time together? Because that's what makes this business fun, right? Courtney, we were talking about this today, like never do anything alone.
Yes. And I remember, you guys, that one of the major reasons why I signed up was because I knew I wouldn't have to do this alone. And then for some reason, like Lori and I were talking, we started doing it by ourselves, meaning we would ask each other, what are you talking about this week on your team call? And we'd be leading our own calls. And that's when we created our September calendar, and then you'll see it moving forward. This is it, guys. This is your team call on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we're going to do.
For us to be talking about the same topic to two different groups of people, right?
Yeah, and it's awesome because you guys will form friendships. We're doing our team retreats together. We're going to do our diamond calls together that lots of you are going to start earning. And we've been doing the Emerald Factory together, which is super fun. We both have our separate new coach training.
Freeze, Lori.
I always freeze. So look forward to lots of awesome stuff from us doing it together. But we're going to just go over some housekeeping type stuff in the beginning of the call, and then we're going to dive into the really awesome topic of tonight's call that sparked a lot of discussion on our team pages about volume and becoming Emerald. But first, let's go over a few things. Pumpkin spice. Courtney, what do you want to say about pumpkin spice?
Oh my gosh. Well, anybody who knows me, and you guys that don't will learn this, but like pumpkin is my jam. I may or may not have timed my pregnancies around pumpkin ale season because like I can't miss that. Joking slightly, but seriously, the kids were both born in July and August, so I had all of pumpkin ale season still remaining. But you guys, pumpkin spice Shakeology, this is the first time that we have done a pilot launch on like a seasonal flavor like this. The things that you need to know about pumpkin spice is that it is a very limited quantity. Craig, our corporate mentor, tried to kind of put it in perspective for us, although they speak in units and it's a little hard to understand that, but it is limited. So if you want pumpkin spice for yourself, or you want some so that you can give as prizes or run a group, whatever, I would be on the horn first thing on the 17th of September to order what you want. You can purchase 5 boxes in one transaction, and then you can't order more than 20 per coach account. That's probably, I'm sure nobody's going to be ordering 20 boxes of pumpkin spice Shakeology. However, know that. So if you're trying to order 6, you're not going, you can only do 5 at a time and have to reprocess. So only 5, but one thing I add on there, and I added this in my team page, and then Lori will probably add it into yours. You know that it's not 90 PV, so it will not count as your 90 PV HD order for Success Club. So don't cancel your Shakeology, you guys. This is like an add-on. This is something special. It's also not going to count towards the 365er. So don't plan to like cancel any HD orders and replace it with this, because it's not going to be equal to this. This is not an HD order. It's a one-time thing. When it's gone, it's gone. Limited inventory, but they're kind of testing the markets, you guys. So if this goes really well for us, I would imagine we'll see something for other seasonal kind of flavors.
Awesome. And that is September 17th. That's my husband's birthday. He is so excited. No, I'm just kidding. We also wanted to just say 2B certification, if that's something that you are interested in. I think that promotion is extended a few more days, so get on that. Also our team retreat, our joint team retreat, if that is something that you want to push your business, forward and towards earning, get on that, apply. Both of our applications are in our team pages. Make sure that you do that. You want to talk about the team calendars a little bit?
Yeah. You're freezing. Sorry, what?
Sorry, you want to talk about the team calendars? Those are up and posted and pinned to our team pages.
Yes. I don't remember what we were going to discuss over that. Are we talking about dates on that, or?
Yeah, just make sure you guys look at that, print it out. Like I told my team earlier, I always print it out, keep it right on my desk, kind of go through it. we are going to start running like coach opportunities and sneak peeks and things like that separate for our teams. But like if you run your challenge groups in congruence with that, everything falls into place and makes more sense. And then I just have talk about team calls, and then we just get into the subject of the call, which is becoming Emerald and volume. And lots of you, hopefully you did that little activity that we posted yesterday. Show of hands if you did that and you're like, oh my God, I'm sitting on a gold mine, or oh my God, I think I did it wrong, or this can't be right, or I didn't do it yet. Like, hopefully one of those. Hopefully we all did that. All right.
And you guys, this isn't like a super sexy topic, but it's really important that you understand this. I think Lori and I were talking earlier. Sometimes I'll hear coaches tell me, it's just too confusing and I just don't understand it. You guys, that's not an excuse for not trying to figure it out. There are going to be pieces of this business that you don't understand. Like every day, Lori and I are talking and trying to help navigate through things we don't understand. But you don't just table it as, I don't get it, and like walk away from it. Emerald and volume, you guys, that is the foundation of your business. Like you have to understand that because you're going to have coaches that have questions for you. And it doesn't mean you're an expert. It doesn't mean you have all the answers. But we hope that tonight we help you have a better understanding of what this all means. And if it still doesn't make sense, go on YouTube, watch some videos. There's a lot of information out there. Like Lori and I could reproduce it and make a ton of videos, but honestly, you guys, there's a lot of great stuff out there already that has been created by probably some of your uplines. Or if not, just watch them. I remember just being a sponge to this stuff when I first signed up because I wanted to know what I needed to do to move my business forward, right? Like what did being a coach truly mean? Like how would I earn income by helping other people? Like what was that piece? Regardless of why you signed up or what your driving force is in this business, you need to understand this. And so that's why, when Lori and I talked about calls, so we got to go back to the basics. We've got to make sure that our team truly understands why Emerald is the foundation for building we always say, rock solid business, but also where volume plays into that, because as you get to Emerald, you unlock a lot of amazing pieces to this business. So you can sit there, and some of you might have seen like you have a lot of volume that you're trying like, well, what does that mean? How do I tap into it? We're going to talk about that tonight. Before we do that, we've got to just really, really hammer into you guys the importance of Emerald. Not just you going Emerald, but you teaching your team to go Emerald, that duplication piece. Every month, you should be going Emerald, adding 2 coaches to your organization. Because if you're doing the vital behaviors and you're leading with your challenge groups and you're helping people get results and you're sharing about being a coach, adding 2 people should not be that hard. We make it harder than it really needs to be, but I promise you guys, it's not. If you just simplify the process, right? You think about why it is that you joined in the first place, what it was that attracted you in, what you love about coaching, share those things. Share them in your challenge group, share them on social media, share them at soccer practice, share them with your neighbors, right? Like this isn't a business that's just only on Facebook where you just hide behind the computer, you guys. If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong, because really it starts in our communities, right? And in your own home. And we're going to talk about that too. Like the conversation starts right here under your own roof and getting the support from those that live with you. But anyway, you guys, Emerald being sort of that first piece, we're going to talk in and dive into the calculation you figured out was for carryover volume. So if you're not Emerald yet, you don't have carryover volume, but it's important that you understand what happens once you do unlock that piece and go Emerald. Lori, do you want me to keep talking, or do you want to?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I mean, like Courtney said, the important thing is that you become Emerald. And like she said, it's not that difficult, like asking 2 people. And we're going to give you a call to action at the end of this. If you're not Emerald already, you really need to start thinking about becoming Emerald like tomorrow. Because anything that Courtney is saying, like this should be your first big giant goal, like become Emerald. To activate your business center, to start making, to start getting your Shakeology for free, to start making some sort of something other than commission. So go ahead, talk a little bit more about volume.
Right. And so what Lori said, as a coach rank, if you don't advance to Emerald, the only way that you're ever going to earn income is just by retail sales. So by selling challenge packs, Beachbody on demand, and I hate to use the word selling, but it's an exchange of services. So retail. That's the only way you're going to earn income. Once you activate your business center to Emerald, you now open up the door to team cycle bonuses, which means that you get to work together with others to reach more people, which why Lori and I are doing this together, because it's way more fun when we get to do it with other people. I don't want to be the only person in front leading my challenge groups. I want a team. I want to do it together. So that's the motivation, for me was, okay, I want to advance so I'm not lonely. I'm not just doing this by myself. Going Emerald is enrolling your first 2 coaches, and you sponsor it. We're a binary system. So we have a right leg and a left leg. And your uplines can help you sort of through some of these pieces. Our new coach training does a really great job explaining all this. So if you haven't done that, go back there, watch the videos. Personally sponsoring your first 2 coaches on your right and your left leg are going to activate your business center and make you an Emerald coach. That's your first major promotion in this business. And it is such a huge one because it means that you now begin to accrue volume on your right leg and your left leg. So as you guys are both part of organizations that are growing every single day. Like there are new coaches being added to our teams every single day. So if you never enroll coaches, you're never going to start to benefit from the carryover volume, which is the calculation that we did earlier. So if you stay just coach rank, this team keeps building around you and you don't really ever get to tap into it. Once you activate your business center and you enroll those first 2 coaches, now every time a coach is added below you, volume is being accumulated on that leg, whatever leg that is. Like your team leg might be your right leg, your weak side might be you have to look at your office and figure out which is your team side, which is your weak side. But really you guys, you're going to start to build volume on both sides. So one leg, you're going to get help from above you, from your upline in theory. And the other side is the leg you need to build with you and your team, but you're going to build both of them equally. So we always suggest you put 2 people you love the most at the top of your organization, because at the end of the day, they are going to have the biggest reward in being part of your business. Think of it like Monopoly game, Park Place and Boardwalk, right? Like those are valued the highest parts in your organization. Once they're gone, right? So you really want to lock in 2 people you love a lot at the top of your organization. Your spouse, if you have not locked arms and talk to your spouse about enrolling them at the top of your organization, that is a conversation to have as soon as possible. Reason being, and they don't have to, you're not going to necessarily probably build them right away, but you want to just lock them in, right? So they're active with maybe your kids' Daily Sunshine or your bars, your performance pack, or they're drinking Shakeology too, whatever it might be, enrolling them as a coach that they're active. My husband sat as an active coach at the top of my organization for 9 months before I did anything with his business. I didn't really know to do anything more than that, and I didn't have a plan to. I just wanted to get him locked in. And my other person was my coworker, Maggie, who desperately wanted to lose 80 pounds. And so I suggested she enroll as a coach so that she can stay more accountable on her journey. You guys, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really know how to pitch the coach opportunity, but I just let it kind of roll off my tongue and I offered it to her and she said yes. So I locked in my first 2 and I activated my business center to Emerald. That is so important to do. And Lori and I talked about this earlier because I want to keep this super simple because it is simple, but I also know we've got a lot of people that are looking at me like, I need more visuals. I need more details. I'm not really sure how this works. For me, you guys, this is where YouTube really came into play. That very corny, cheesy Michael Neiman's Team Cycle bonus with the action figures. Like that made more sense. But I'll tell you what, none of this made sense until I saw that first $14 paycheck for that first Team Cycle bonus in my office. And you would have thought I won $1 million or like whoever the publisher's clearinghouse dude was at my front door. Because I was like, oh, it's working. Like, I totally get it. It makes sense now. And that's so much of this business is just leaning in, doing what your upline is telling you to do, because trusting us to walk, alongside of us, follow our footsteps. And as you start to do these things, it starts to make sense. It's like when we talk about inviting to challenge groups and you're like, I don't get it. And then you get your first objection and you work through it. You're like, okay, now I know how to do that. But you can read about handling objections all you want, but until someone throws one at you and you figure out a way to navigate through it, you don't really know. And that's the same thing with these Team Cycle bonuses. But essentially, you guys, when you have your right and you have a coach enrolled on your right and your left leg, as coaches are being added to your organization, you're going to begin to build volume below you. Every time you have 100 PV on one leg and 200 on the other, you're going to cycle for $14, which I know doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it really does add up over and over and over, right? So your first couple cycle bonuses, you guys, are going to work towards covering your Shakeology or whatever other products it is that you want. And so Shakeology, for example, is 90 PV. So really what that is as long as there's 2 people, 3 people on Shakeology on the one leg, which more than likely there is, because you guys have all been added to legs where people are building. And on the other side, you know, you enroll your spouse, and then usually I tell my coaches, run your order, like your non-challenge pack orders through there. So if somebody wants Beachbody on demand, have them purchase it through your spouse account. I just tell people I manage his account too. Or, you know, if you, like, we have a Performance Stack, bars, Daily Sunshine, Activate, or not Activate. I use the Ultimate Reset supplements, right? So like we have a million products that are coming from our company. All of those are going through my lowest business center. I'm not putting them through my primary. So you can shift them over, which is going to create volume below you, which is going to pay you out in cycle. But really, again, helping your coaches do the same thing. So can you imagine if every coach you bring on adds 2 coaches, how that duplicates in your organization? And also how that's the foundation for a diamond rank, right? It's having 2 solid emeralds at least on either leg. So that piece is so important that you understand it, that you do it, and that you coach your coaches to doing it, because it's really just what is going to keep moving your business forward. As simple as that, like going emerald every single month. Okay, I didn't even follow my list here, Lori.
You're doing great though. No, and I think it's super important once you do become emerald to stay emerald and keep yourself active, because I learned this today. I didn't even know, but if you go inactive, your carryover volume goes back to 0. So all of that, all those numbers you guys see in your back offices after our little fun assignment yesterday, like that starts over at 0. So you never want to go inactive. You want to keep active, and you do that how? By keeping your PV. And one of the things that Courtney and I talked about today that we tell all of our coaches is right now, whenever you get your Shakeology, if you get it at the end of the month, push it to the beginning of the month. Like even if you're going to have 2 or 3 weeks left, you know, extra to play with, it's better than running out. And it's better to have your Shakeology come at the beginning of the month. You don't have to worry about it. You know that your Shakeology order goes through at the beginning of the month, and your 90 PV is taken care of, and you don't have to worry about going inactive that month or, you know, like I said, running out of Shakeology. Most of us have Energize and other things that Courtney recommended putting under your husband's account, which is, you know, super smart to do, but making sure that you never go inactive, and then also making sure once you are emerald that the coaches below you don't go inactive either. I tell my coaches, and it's on our team calendars, to check your downline a few times a week. You're running a business now. You're on this call because you're being responsible for your business. And part of that is making sure that your business stays afloat every week. Every Thursday morning, you want to log into your Coach Online office. And if you're diamond, it hurts to see that say emerald after you've become a diamond and you work so hard to get there. Or even after you become an emerald and then all of a sudden you're back to coach status again and you're like, what the heck happened? Oh, Sally pushed her Shakeology off and she went inactive for a week. You have to stay on top of your coaches, just like we have to stay on top of our challengers for checking into their challenge groups, right? Like, where are you? You fell off the, same thing with your coaches. So you need to start being more responsible for your own business and then the coaches below you, because maybe they just don't know. Maybe they don't know that they have to make sure that their Shakeology hits every month. Or maybe they don't know that, an HD order of 2 other things can help keep them active too.
And I always look at that as a conversation. I remember being a new coach and seeing my coaches go inactive and like not knowing how to approach that conversation. But I looked at it less of a business standpoint and more of a, why are you inactive? Like, do you not enjoy your Shakeology? Like, is there something that's going on? Because there might be a life event that's going on that's creating a disruption in what's something, right? So the same way you're counseling and not counseling is the wrong word, but working with your challengers, you're working with your coaches, right? Because your discount coaches to me are challengers. So I'm treating them the same way I treat my challengers and checking in on them regularly, because I want to support them to their goals. So if they're going inactive, something's going on, right? Like why are you going inactive? Why do you have an excess of Shakeology? Why are you not drinking it every day? Or whatever the product is that they're using. Because I realize not everybody might be using Shakeology. We have so many products that I have people that are just using Performance Stack. But why? Why is there an active there? It could be as simple as, I don't know, or I lost my card and I have to update it. It didn't go through, right? So it may have nothing to do with, and we need to do that because then they're going to be really bummed when their Shakeology doesn't actually get to them when they're waiting for their green box on their doorstep, right? So those are conversations you just got to get comfortable having, and don't make it about you. Make it always about them, because that's always my first thing. Why? What's going on in your life? Like keep me informed on that. And when you loop it in that way, you know, the relationships are there, they're solid, and because you're building trust with them too, right? Like a lot of this, yes, you're running a business, but these are people in relationships. So how can we plug you into a group? If you've fallen off track, let's get you plugged back into a group. Let's get your Shakeology reordered. Let's try another product. If, you know, let's switch to vegan if the regular is upsetting your stomach. Like, let's talk about all those different things, because sometimes it's just a really little switch, right? But the other piece to talk about Emerald that is a really big piece that I don't think we talk about enough is that when you are an Emerald coach and you have 90 PV on Home Direct, so for most of us, that's our Shakeology, and you hit Success Club, you are eligible for free customer leads. This is very unique to our business. This is not something you're going to find in any other company that's sort of like ours. In that, because we have two platforms, because we have Beachbody.com, which is like our infomercial marketing platform, our direct sales, which is how we started, right? And then we have Team Beachbody, which is our team network. Beachbody pulls people from Beachbody.com and drops them right into your office. So when somebody orders Beachbody on demand, a 3-month trial or a year trial, or maybe they order a shake sampler, or maybe they try Energize, whatever it is, right? Because you guys, our stuff is branded everywhere. You go to an Ironman competition, there's Beachbody Performance Line stuff. You go to Target, there's P90X stuff there. You go to the Apple store, there's Beachbody on demand advertised everywhere. It is genius. You go on Amazon, people will say, well, oh, you can buy Beachbody on demand on Amazon. Those people come to you via leads, okay? It is smart marketing. We need more brand awareness. In a day where people don't have cable TV, infomercials, which got us started, aren't necessarily how people are finding us anymore. Beachbody is genius in how they're marketing. So people are like, oh, well, Beachbody on demand is on Amazon. I'm losing customers there. You're not losing customers there. You have to just kind of switch them back over to you, because now they're somebody else's customer. So Beachbody, when you're an Emerald coach, 90 PV on HD, and you help Success Club, meaning you help 3 people get started with Challenge Pack, Shakeology on Home Direct, Performance Packs, whatever those 90 PV options are, you are going to get free customers. So Success Club 5 is going to earn you free customers. Those are typically like Beachbody on demand members, but you might get 3 to 5 some months. When you hit Success Club 10, you're going to get the better leads. You're going to get Shakeology leads. And some months, I don't know, 8 to 10 plus. It just depends. And then it's up to you what you want to do from there. You have to reach out to them. You have to build a relationship. But those are free people coming into your business. You know, you don't have to get creative in anything other than sending an email to them and connecting with them and plugging them into your challenge groups. Some will answer you, some won't, but you guys really, it's about the fact that they're giving them to you, which is pretty awesome. So those are all the benefits. So, you know, beyond just activating your business center, we're going to dive into some carryover volume stuff. You're getting additional benefits to being an Emerald coach. Our company's rewarding you for taking that first step and giving back to those that are business builders, really, right? Like you are moving forward with your business. Okay. Carryover.
Right. So you guys looked at yesterday or today that little assignment that some of you were like screenshotting me and saying, "Oh my God, help me! This is amazing! Like, what do I do?" And some of you were like, "Wait a minute, I only have like $20." So some of you are on strong legs, some of you are on weak legs, and it's okay, because what's similar about Courtney and I are we were both on a leg that started out pretty much 0-0. So like we started from scratch and we've built these 2 amazing teams and we both make really great incomes starting with hardly any help from above. So if you were put on a leg where you don't really have much going on, it doesn't mean that you're in a worse position at all. But if you are on a leg where there's lots of volume on one side, you have to get to work on that other side, because you're never going to see anything. It looks great on paper, but you have to get to work. You have to build that other side to really reap the benefits, of that strong leg. And the carryover volume, Courtney's going to talk a little bit more about the carryover.
And before I dive into this, I just want to kind of, what Lori just said, it doesn't matter where you're placed in this business, you have a business center. So what I find sometimes is that people use their placement as, you can play the victim mindset of like, I'm placed here and I don't get help from above. Lori and I are telling you, we don't get help from above, okay? And I didn't know any different. I didn't know that people had strong legs, or like some people were, had hundreds of coaches placed below them on each leg every single week. I had no idea. I was just working towards my own goals and doing my own things. And same thing with Lori. We were oblivious that was even a thing. And it's okay. It doesn't hold you back unless you choose to let it hold you back. So if you have a really strong leg, you are sort of limited to where you can build, because you're going to be building a little more strategically to catch some of that carryover volume. If you are on a leg where you don't have a lot of help from above, you can build for rank and for volume. And that's where Lori and I are. So, we use a little more strategy where we place coaches, but really it's kind of up to us. What are our goals? What do we want to do? Like, what do we want to chase? Because Lori and I have zero carryover volume. None. Like, on any given week, I might have 100, maybe 200. Because again, we don't have anyone above us that's building. So using that, I just wanted to preface with that, because sometimes when I see these posts, people start to think, oh, why don't I have that? Or you look at it as a bad thing. None of it's good. None of it's bad. It just means it tells you where it is that you need to build. So with your carryover volume, it's not like you're just going to get a paycheck of $40,000. Okay. So if you have carryover volume and it's $40,000 and that's what volume is sitting there waiting for you to kind of cash into, you're not going to get a payout of $40,000. That our business doesn't work like that. You have to use that information to decide where you're going to place your next sets of coaches. And so if your left leg is the leg where it's very unbalanced, because what we want you to strive towards is when you look in your office and you look at your volume, you are either balanced with a 2-to-1 ratio or a 1-to-1 ratio. So a 2-to-1 ratio means like you might have 500 on one leg and 1,000 on the other leg. The reason for that is that means every week you cycle down as far as you can. You carry over just the minimum. So like the next week you're carrying over just one cycle. Like you've cycled down as far as you can. Or 1-to-1, same thing. If you're balanced at like 20-to-1, you have got to build on the leg that needs more volume. Period. End of story. Get to diamond, secure a rock solid diamond, and I want you to add everybody else you need on the other leg. Because that means that you create more volume on the inside or the outside or whatever leg it is that you need volume on. So every week your payouts get a little bigger. Now you have to keep in mind this, you guys, there are caps on cycle bonuses depending on what your rank is. So if you are an emerald coach, the highest you can ever cycle every week is $250. It'll cap you there. So if you have a lot of, like, let's say you start building, or here's a perfect example. You're a lifetime emerald coach, but somebody goes inactive, so you fall back down to coach rank and you sit there for 4 months, okay? But you stay active. So as long as you stay active, you continue to build carryover volume. It just keeps, whatever you can't cycle just keeps getting added to both sides. It's sitting there waiting for you for when you start building your business again. So you enroll your sister, Sally, or your cousin, Sam, or whoever, right? And they go active on the other side and you get your emerald back. That next pay period, your business is going to register. They are an active emerald coach, and they're going to look at the volume on the right and the left leg, and they're going to cycle it down as far as they can. And I'll see this happen to some coaches every now and then, and they'll get a $250 paycheck. But they didn't get all of their volume. It stops you there. It caps you there. And if you are an emerald coach that has really good volume on your inside, like let's say you've got a pretty strong outside leg and you've got a couple builders on your inside and you keep capping at 250, you have two choices. Cap at 250, earn $1,000 a month, or rank advance. Find some friends to join this business with you, rank advance. Because Ruby, you're going to cap at 750. Diamond, you're going to cap at 2,000 a week. And then I think it increases every $1,000 from there. So 3-star diamond or 2-star diamond is $3,000 a week. You guys, those are big volume numbers, okay? The biggest piece here is that emerald part and knowing where it is that you need to be building. So if you're a diamond kind of floating in on a diamond, lock in that diamond and build on the side that you need to build volume on. Stop thinking about, oh, like I want them on the left or the right. You're not really going to get a lot of choices with that. You're going to have to just add them on the inside if your goals are income, because you're sitting on potential here to really cash in on that volume, because it just keeps building. Whatever you can't cycle down, it's going to keep building. So sometimes I'll see diamonds that have an $18 cycle paycheck, and I'll tell them, you've got to build on your inside leg. You know, that's, as a diamond, cycling $18 a week means that you don't have any activity coming from your inside leg, and you're leaving money on the table every single week, especially if you've got volume on that outside. So really, you know, it's on you to catch it. So some people will say, well, this is overwhelming, or I don't know where to start. Just do all the things that got you where you are today. Share your passion, you know, invite people to join you on your fitness journey. Share with them all the benefits about coaching, you know, lead with the vitals. I mean, that's it. None of this is overly complicated. I think we make this super complicated for ourselves, but you know, what got you started, and keep sharing that, because the more product enthusiasts that you bring in that get results, that love our products, become your rock star coaches and help you build an incredible team. So you can place them on the sides that you need them to catch some of that volume on the outside, because once it's there, it's not going to go anywhere, but you have to do the work to kind of to tap into it. And so you'll chip away at it. So it, you know, some paychecks might increase. I mean, our goal for emeralds would be to work towards capping that 250, but unless you're on a really strong leg, that's going to be really hard to do. I mean, Lori and I can speak from that we didn't have those strong legs to start. So like we couldn't just add a few builders on the inside and catch that. But if you are in a place where you have a really strong leg and you know your work needs to be done on the inside leg, you're going to start to catch it quicker than you probably think over time, right? Like give yourself time to be able to do that. Like a year, 2 years, right? Like it's not going to happen overnight, but it's there for you to tap into. I don't know if any of that, if I'm making sense or if I'm like totally speaking Chinese.
No, it's definitely good to know. You guys need to know the potential of what you're sitting on. It's definitely something I didn't know. I had like 3 goals when I started this business, and it was, you know, to get Shakeology at a discount. I was just going to be a discount coach. And then it was get my Shakeology for free. And then it was help a few people, right? And then it was become emerald, and then it was become diamond. I mean, I didn't know anything about volume, but those things were on my radar, and that was the most important to me. I wanted to address Jessica's question because I think Courtney and I can both answer. She said, what if your loved ones don't want to join or are already doing a different health brand? I can tell you that right now my family laughed at me for almost a year. Not my husband. He's a little bit more supportive than the average spouse, but he laughed at Shakeology and made fun of me and said it was the Kool-Aid, and then he started drinking it, and I made him drink it. I said, if I make this every day, and now he, you know, obviously you guys know he doesn't go a day without it. But my mother and my sister-in-law laughed at me, and now you guys know my sister-in-law is one of the, you know, leaders of this team. And Courtney will tell you to this day that her family makes fun of her.
Nope. I've yet to truly help anybody other than my husband in my family as much as I've tried. So if you think that the key to success is enrolling all your family members, Lori and I don't have that. You know, like my mom is enrolled as a coach now, but it's like 3 years into my business before I could finally get her to even really say yes to this. Okay. But your spouse, and I don't know if the family member is your spouse. The big thing about your spouse is that the communication in this is key, that they understand what your goals and what your mission is with this business. Like Lori said, you know, she wanted a discount, you know, she wanted to get her product paid for, and then there was some business stuff that came in. You know, my goals weren't much different in the beginning, but I did join for the business opportunity because that seed was planted to me. I signed up after my upline shared her resignation letter from her teaching job, and I was like, wait, I thought they were just like posting sweaty selfies. I had no idea they earned income from this. Like I truly had no idea. I had never done a Beachbody program. I had never had a shake, not just Shakeology, but like I had legit, even as a college Division I athlete, I had never had a protein shake. Like how strange is that, right? Never in my life. Never thought I would drink a shake. Never thought I would work out at home. I'm a total social butterfly gym rat. But it was that showed me, oh my gosh, she's a teacher. She's filling her bucket by running online fitness. Like all the pieces started to come together. And I thought to myself, I like to help people. I would love to have more flexibility. I would like to have more time with my family. And I also need this for me too. I needed the accountability. I needed to fall in love with fitness again. So all of those pieces were conversations that I brought to my spouse. And I said, and I was nervous to tell him, you guys, I was like, he's going to laugh at me. He's going to think I'm crazy. And he said, I'll do it with you. And I was like, okay, sounds good. But he was like, well, we're not buying 2 bags of Shakeology and you're probably going to cancel that one after 30 days because we can't really afford it. And I said, oh yeah, honey, no worries. We got that, right? Totally got it. 2 weeks in, my shake's gone because he's stealing it from my bag. So like we sign him up as a coach and we order more Shakeology, and everybody's on board in that. But you guys, to preface this, he has a business account. He knows that he has a business account, and Lori's the same. Our husbands do not. They support us. They cheer us on. They give us high fives. They work out with us. They don't run their business. Okay, so your spouse might want to do that and have more of a hand in it. There's lots of spouses that do. Mine doesn't. I mean, he does talk about the business. He does talk about the products when he's around people, and he does refer me customers and coaches, but like he is more like the recruiting coordinator of our setup here. But he doesn't have to. So I just want to preface by saying that they do need to be aware that they would have a business account. But what I tell people is we run our business together, which is true because we do, even though Lori, like we do the heavy, right? So getting them signed up is just a really smart business decision on your end. You don't have to do much with their account for a long time. Like I said, it was 9 months before I touched my husband's account. But in theory, like what it does is it gives you 2 business centers. So it allowed for me to build 2 business centers at the same time. So while I was working towards, because I set a goal after 6 months when I started coaching, I set a goal that 6 months later, I was not going back to my teaching job. I was going to be posting that resignation letter. I was going to do that. I was going to figure out a way to do this. And building my spouse account was the only way that got me there too, because I now was building volume in 2 places. And I duplicated myself is what it really boils down to. Because you can't always control what other people are willing to do, but you have 2 areas that you can truly leave your mark and make an impact. So like that's, but it is a conversation. You got to really be clear with your spouse about what your goals are. You don't have to have all the answers. I know sometimes men want to be they like facts and figures and numbers. Luckily mine doesn't really care about those things, but like I know some men are a little more, and women too, but I find men like more facts and figures. Women want more relationship building stuff. So you have those conversations. I know Lori has done like a spouse video with your team. I can share that with ours, but it's important. I mean, to know that that's one half of your emerald is locking in your spouse up high. And then the other person is someone else you truly love. Like, we're going to help you with that piece here just in a second. But like for me, I went to all the people that I knew I couldn't say the wrong thing to, right? That loved me all the same, even if this wasn't going to be something they were going to say yes to, like it was my close friends. And I will say none of them said yes. So I'm just going to throw that out there. It took a lot of no's before I finally got the yes, and it was my coworker. But then I will tell you, all of them have now come back and said yes, and they are not in Boardwalk or Park Place. I don't know the other places on the Monopoly board, but they're on our team, which is amazing.
All right, we have another question from Meg. If you sign your spouse up as a coach, which my husband is willing, they need to be active. So something HD needs to be purchased, right? What do you recommend if they don't drink Shakeology?
So Meg, now they don't necessarily need to be 90 PV HD until they are Emerald. So that could be your performance stack if you're using it. It could be the bars. We have so many amazing products that you could use on your journey to keep you going, or maybe that your kids want too, like Daily Sunshine. sometimes, like in the beginning, what I did is I did have a box of Shakeology packets that came every month, and I used those to run our shake challenges. So every month I had packets for at least 2 people to join me, and that kept me accountable towards inviting. It was like, okay, I'm going to find at least 2 new Shakeology people to bring in every single month. But that really depends on how you want to run it. But you also remember, you guys, personal volume comes from customer and coach orders. So you could have a customer who's purchasing underneath your husband, keeping them active, if that helps. But to keep it kind of simple, usually it was like in the beginning. Now we have so many more products than we had when I first started, and Lori too. I mean, really, I was just drinking Shakeology when we started. That was really all. The performance line came out then later. But so like in my business center, I have Shakeology under me, and then everything else is in my other business center. So we get 3 boxes of bars every month. We get Daily Sunshine for the kids every month. We get the performance stack every single month. But that's what we are using for our own personal kit. Like we're using those things. It's not like they're sitting on my shelf, But you could also, things that if you did want to have stuff you could give away as samples and things, the Energize and Hydrate packets are amazing. Usually I'll send out like a little welcome packet to my new challengers that might have like a Hydrate or Energize samples in them, because it's always, it's something for them to try. Like maybe they didn't want to invest in all of it, but I gave them a sample to try.
All right. So Georgie wrote, I haven't built my inside leg at all. I've been trying to build my weak leg. What is the benefit to building your inside leg? And what is the difference between weak and inside? I think that there's some confusion there.
Okay. So everybody's legs are going to be different. What you need to do is look at your back office. And usually what I tell people, and now this could really be depending on who your upline is too, but look in your back office. And when you look at the graphical genealogy view, if you have people that are below you on the left side, you know that your team leg is left, because you know that's where people are adding coaches. If you look, and then on your right side, if there's nobody or you just have one person enrolled, then that's what we call your weak side. Those can flip at any time, depending, again, where you're positioning and where you're located. So like people will say like, well, what side is your right and left? Those are going to be completely, your weak and strong are going to be completely dependent on where your placement is. So you might have to check with your upline. But the way I think of this is the way my brain works. Whenever my coaches say, am I on your weak or your strong side? I will ask myself, what leg did I place you on? So like if I placed you on the right leg and I know my right leg is my team leg, I'll say you're on the team leg.
And team is strong.
Yeah. But either way, like their team, if I place them on left, then their team leg is left leg. So their team leg is considered whatever leg you're going to keep adding to as well. Does that make sense?
Well, that I actually knew already, but okay. I was wondering, you kept referring to the inside leg earlier, and I was like, well, why would I build the inside leg?
So
not the weak leg, the inside.
Okay.
There's 2 insides, right?
Well, so I was kind of using them interchangeably, but weak and inside to me are kind of the same thing.
Because once I put my mom, when she was alive, I put her accidentally on my left side, but on the inside, because there's an inside leg for each.
Yes. So I don't think we should say inside and weak are interchangeable, because you can have a strong and a weak, and then you can have an inside on both.
Right.
I teach my coaches to not touch the inside. You can't left and right, always set that. Don't ever set it to auto placement. You always set it to left or right. Yeah, you never want to play with that inside stuff.
That's why I was confused when you mentioned inside. I was like, wait, what am I supposed to read to that? I didn't understand that.
Sorry, that was my fault. Okay. No, and Lori's right. I teach my coaches to always add outside left, outside right. Always. The only exception to that is ever going to be when you have your spouse account. You're going to build them to emerald, right? So then this would be like their inside leg, or so you might start adding over here. But that's, I know, getting very technical, but like that would be an inside. But you're right. You don't ever want to add one of your coaches on the inside leg of one of your other coaches, because you have no idea what they're going to do, right?
No, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something and I didn't know something.
You're right. Thank you for correcting me, because that is confusing. Thank you.
So Melissa says, my husband doesn't drink Shakeology, but he loves beach bars, so I order that, and my daughter's Daily Sunshine under him. That's perfect.
Yep.
No question about that. That's great. Any other questions about anything? We talked about volume, rank advancement, capping out. All right.
And again, you guys, we know that a lot of this seems overwhelming and confusing, but I promise you, as you start doing it and as you start seeing it, all the light bulbs like start firing. Like it all just starts making sense. What Lori and I find is that when coaches sort of sit around and collect information and they don't actually take action with it, it just breeds more confusion because Lori and I are both teachers. So we talk about, going through all your schooling and learning all the theories, and you have all this book knowledge, but you have no practical knowledge of how to actually teach children. Like I remember walking into my first day to teach and being like, I cannot believe I'm responsible for all these kids, right? Like I have all this, I have, about 4.5 years of education, yet I feel so unprepared. But you learn as you do things, you do them right, you do them wrong, you correct, and you figure it out. And coaching is no different. But if you sit around and you want to collect all the textbook information until you actually apply it, it's never going to make any sense. So lean in, work through it, figure it out, and then that gets really fun that way. And especially when you get to bring on your own coaches and you get to coach them through this stuff, because you'll find like, wow, I really understood that. Because if you can explain it to somebody else, you truly understand what all of this means. And like Lori and I said, this is why we don't want to do this alone. It's way more fun when you get to lock arms with your friends and share a passion and get excited about planning your next challenge groups and getting excited about what groups you want to run. And you're already into planning December because you just, you can't stop yourself. And that's where this is so much fun, because of all the people that you get to impact because you banded together as a team, which is a little bit of a digression. But seriously, you guys, this is where the fun stuff happens. Not the technical pieces, but the parts where you actually start to visually see it, because that means you're helping a lot of people.
All right. So Courtney and I have, can you tell us, my new coaches understand the potential of volume. Can you tell us, so my new coaches understand the potential of volume, an estimate of the income you make that comes from cycle bonuses rather than commission?
I mean, as your business builds, your commission is going to be mine's very small weekly. I mean, Lori and I are still people that bring in, we still are hitting Success Club 20 plus every month. So like we still are bringing in lots of new customers every month. So we do have retail commission, but compared to our paychecks, I mean, probably not. I mean, I don't know. I have to do the math, but it's very small.
Yeah, volume and team bonus is where the magic happens for sure.
I was going to say 1%, but that's not even accurate, because like some weeks my retail commission's like $200.
I mean, yeah.
My volume is, you know what I mean? Like that's where you want to get, where your team is, you guys are doing this together. It's not just you having to, I mean, you're going to keep bringing new people in because your passion is there and that keeps your business moving forward. But ideally it's you hit Success Club and you help 5 of your coaches hit Success Club too. Does that make sense, Katie?
That's the secret sauce right there.
That deep level of duplication. I mean, that really is it. There's,
I feel like people sometimes don't understand the potential that it's like you and your coaches and whoever they help and whoever, the coaches that they add underneath them and underneath them, it's like it could grow, and that's really where you could earn a great income like you guys do.
Right. Yeah, and you just have to, again, it's finding the right people to lock arms and do that with too. And, I think some of it's being patient enough to stick around long enough to see it, because it didn't happen overnight. That switch for Lori and I didn't happen for a long time. Probably the first year and a half of my business, it was still very heavy on retail commissions. And then at some point it shifts.
And what something that Courtney and I do now is we consistently show up every single day. Like, I think a lot of people think they get to this point and then they're like, okay, well, I don't have to do all the things. We still do all the things. We still have business activity trackers that look, you know, a lot different than the basic one, but we're still very consistent. We do the vital behaviors, you know, that kind of stuff never stops, because that's passion. That's where the why comes in. Like, why do you show up every day? I think the first 3 to 6 months of the business, it's very like, do I keep showing up? You know, I'm getting made fun of. Those people, and all those people that are making fun are almost looking for you to fail. So it's like, prove them wrong, get over that hump, show that you're not going anywhere, that this is real. And my internet is unstable.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a great point, Lori. It's like, you have to, you know, like there's so many people in network marketing that don't make it past the 3-6 month mark, right? So you will. And the more you stick around and the more you keep showing up for your why, the more trust you build from your followers, you know? And I mean, I have people 5 years in that have been following me for 5 years that are just now saying yes. Like, just when you think you've run out of contacts, right? And it's like your inbox fills up with people from your hot market, like your old neighbor from your old town, right? It's like they're watching, they're waiting to hear whatever it is that they need to hear that's going to connect and click with them. But like Lori said, it really is just consistently showing up and doing whatever it is that you need to do to get you closer to your goals. And that's going to look different for everybody. All right. Are you ready for our assignment, Lori?
Yeah, let's finish this up. We came up with something really great for every one of you to do. You're going to put it, you just say it because you have it.
Hold on. let me grab it though. Here, I'll say it and then I'll post it in the chat. Let me do this first because I can't find it. So what Lori and I wanted to do, since we have you guys here and you guys are on here because you want to learn, you want to grow, you're eager to get your businesses going or keep them going, is that we're going to throw out a little challenge for you right now to send some invites to some people to join your team. And the script that we're going to give you, you can tailor it and make it more of your own if you'd like to, but we thought we'd provide you with some language so that you feel confident to be able to go ahead and send this to some people. Start with those people that know, love you, and trust you. Start with the people who are on your dream team, who you want by your side doing this with you. Like when you think about when you're at Summit next year, who's standing next to you? Like who do you get to do this business with every single day? Those were the first people I invited, and just sharing, this is what I'm doing. I don't know if you're interested in it, but I'd like to have a chance to tell you more about it, because you have to throw those. You can't just wait for people to come to you. You have to plant some seeds. You have to give people the opportunity to even say yes or say no, because I was invited for 15 months before I was even willing to listen. So you have to be willing to put those things out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a script. We're going to give you guys 5 minutes to send some messages to some people. In our team pages, we're going to ask for people to do a little screenshot. You don't have to screenshot the actual messages, but just show your messenger that you actually sent 5 messages. And those who do will be entered into a little drawing to win a prize. So no better time than to rip the Band-Aid off than now, right? That's how we roll. All right, let me grab these.
So write down 5 people.
Yeah, write down 5 people right now. You can write down more if you want, but at least 5 people while I grab this script, and my internet's being super wonky. Oh my gosh. Laura, I can't even get my Safari to open. Do you have those ones I sent to you? Can you see them?
Yeah, hold on. There we go. Well, this is good. They're making their lists. Okay, let's see. Okay.
And you can just copy those, take them out of the chat and put them somewhere, and then you can.
Yeah, everyone go in the chat and copy and paste those. Put them in like your notes section on your computer or a Word document, And
Any chance you could put them somewhere else for someone who's driving?
Oh,
of course,
that's probably safe. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll put them underneath the call in both of our pages right now, like that cute little visual that we made this morning.
And by we, she means
So much.
I'll put them in both pages. Invite scripts.
And then we will, what we'll do is, when should we close that, Lori? Like tomorrow morning?
Yeah, like 9 a.m.
Yeah, give people a chance to send those messages off. And you can send more than 5 if you'd like. And you guys, those are, with scripts, usually what we tell people is make them sound like you, right? So that's just some framework and outline. Find what works for you.
I want to say something too about scripts, and it's funny because Courtney and I had a really hard time getting these 2 scripts because we don't use them. And that's one thing that we have in common. And not that there's anything wrong with scripts. It's just that that's the way we run our businesses. We treat every single inquiry as its own inquiry. We invite, but we don't use scripts. So you don't have to. You can. They can help you create your own. I'm not saying I don't thank people for following my page and tell them I'm on a fitness journey. Are you on one too? That's a little different. That's starting a conversation. But, here's some ideas. Run with it if you want.
And, scripting too is also helpful when you're replying to things. Like,
yes.
In the beginning, you're going to get a lot of the same questions. Like, is it safe to drink Shakeology when you're nursing? Or should I bump up a bracket in 21-Day Fix because I'm nursing? Like, these were things that as I kept getting asked over and over again, I just started a Google sheet and I just started like copying and pasting a good reply.
What is a challenge?
You're going to get asked the same questions over and over and over again. So save yourself some time. Like, that's a different kind of script. What Lori and I are saying is that we don't typically send a lot of hey girl messages. But in the beginning, I definitely sent more of them. You just tailored them to be a little more personalized. Like, hey Meg, like the kids are getting so big. How are you? Like tailoring it that way. But the meat and potatoes of it really stays the same.
And while we're talking about scripts and stuff, I just wanted to share something real quick about a good friend of mine who was telling me how she appreciates the way I run my business because she has a friend who attacks her every month. She's a Rodan and Fields consultant, and she's a really good friend of hers. But every month she contacts her about the next greatest promo or the next greatest product, and she never asks how she's doing, and this is one of her really, really good friends. So, think about that, like what Courtney said, like look at their page, talk about their kids, how was the first day, like don't always make it about, oh, guess what, I have a new product, do you want it? No, how are you? Like really, how are you doing? How's your job? How's your husband? Like, even if you really don't care, but I'm sure you do.
Yeah. Use it as an opportunity to reconnect with old friends. I will be honest, that was one thing with this business that sort of scared me at first, but it has been amazing the blessings that have come back into my life just because I was either brave enough to reach out to an old friend or they were brave enough to reach out to me for help. Like whatever the scenario might be, it's really cool to be so connected to people that you maybe otherwise wouldn't have. And I find that to be such a gift of this business. And like Lori said, it's not just about closing a sale. You're reaching out because you truly see value in whatever they can provide for what you envision is in it for them, whatever that you think that their goals might be.
The blessing to talk to old friends and be more connected is so true and really is a gift. Great point. Oh, that's so sweet, Jess. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we're all here because we love what we're doing and we love the product, right? Like we literally want to shout it from the rooftop, and that's what we want for every single person that we come across. I mean, everywhere I go, I talk about this or people ask me about it. And then I was telling some people last month on my team call, I sold a challenge pack to my car salesman and I talk to him now. Like we talk. He sold me my car and we talk. It's like, how's the car? How's the challenge group?
And that's another valuable thing that Lori, though, because when somebody says, what do you do? It's really easy for us to lead with, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, I'm a marketing professional, whatever. But do you share? And I also run an online health and wellness business. Because I will be honest, I hid behind that for a while. It was like, I'm a teacher, or I work in disability services, right? That's boring. Nobody has questions for me about being a disability services coordinator. But as soon as you say, I run online health and wellness accountability groups for men and women, they say, "Oh, what does that do? Like, tell me more about it." You guys would be surprised how many conversations you're going to start that way if you're just brave enough to share that's your passion. But I think we hide behind that. I don't know if we make ourselves small, or we discredit that anyone wants to really hear that, or we're worried that we're going to come off sounding like a salesperson. That might be it. But really what it is you're providing so much value to people. Like, I don't know how that conversation happened for you, Lori, but you walked in there to buy a car, and then it was an exchange of products.
Yeah, I really didn't think that was going to happen. But something that I heard that I say to myself all the time is, be kind enough to share with someone you love, and brave enough to share with someone you don't. Like, so you're kind enough to share with those people that you know, but brave enough for the ones that you don't know yet, right? Like, reach out to the strangers and offer this incredible product that could help them live a healthy and fulfilling life. All right, we're going to record. It is recorded. I will stop this recording. We can't wait to see all of the people that are going to be entered to win. Any other questions? This was great. Look forward to this. Whether it's going to be every Tuesday or every other Tuesday, we haven't decided yet, but they won't be this long. Courtney and I were like 30 minutes, and look at that.
But we knew that there was no way to get this into 30 minutes, you guys. Like, today we were talking, I was like, this is not a 30-minute conversation.